Retargeting campaigns, platforms to recover leads. The lead recovery gap in B2B. If you're paying for B2B traffic, the hard reality is that most of your best fit visitors won't raise their hand the first time they land on your site. Average website conversion rates sit around 1.96%, which means roughly 98% of visitors leave without converting. In B2B, that gap is often even more painful because buying committees rarely book a meeting on a first visit. Across many B2B sites, visitor-to-lead conversion is about 2.4%, while top performers reach 8 to 10%. That delta usually isn't more traffic or better ads. It's having a system that brings qualified people back after they bounce, get distracted, or need internal buy-in. Retargeting campaigns are that system, an always-on recovery layer that turns anonymous interest into booked conversations. At SalesHive, we treat retargeting as part of revenue execution, not a standalone marketing tactic. When our SDR agency teams run outbound alongside paid programs, retargeting keeps warm accounts primed so cold email and cold calling services land like a continuation of research, not a random interruption. The outcome is simple. More of the traffic you already paid for shows up in your pipeline. Why retargeting moves pipeline, not just clicks? Retargeting works because it re-engages people who already demonstrated intent, and intent is the scarce resource in B2B. Visitors who see retargeting ads are about 70% more likely to convert than those who aren't retargeted. When you combine that with long deal cycles and multiple stakeholders, staying present matters more than one perfect landing page. The best retargeting programs don't just collect clicks, they create lift across the funnel. Layering retargeting on top of existing campaigns can increase total conversions by 30 to 50% on average, which effectively turns the same demand gen spend into more meetings and opportunities. For teams running sales outsourcing or managing an outsourced sales team, that lift is especially valuable because your SDR capacity is finite and you want reps working warmer queues. B2B outcomes tend to outperform because the buyer's journey is research-heavy and repetition builds confidence. Some datasets show B2B retargeting delivering roughly 147% higher conversion rates than B2C retargeting, alongside brand awareness lifts of 71% and retention lifts of 59%. In practice, we see retargeting as a credibility amplifier that supports SDR follow-up, LinkedIn outreach services, and search demand you're already generating. Platforms that actually recover B2B leads. In B2B, the platform question is less, where can we run ads, and more, where can we repeatedly reach the buying committee at the right cost? For most teams, the core stack starts with LinkedIn retargeting via matched audiences, Google Ads/YouTube remarketing, and a first-party email layer through your marketing automation. From there, you add assist channels like Meta and, for larger motions, programmatic/ABM tools that operate at the account level. LinkedIn earns its spot because it's the most practical place to re-engage decision-makers by company, seniority, and role. In LinkedIn's Matched Audiences pilot, website retargeting drove a 30% increase in CTR and a 14% drop in post-click cost per conversion, exactly the kind of efficiency you want on premium B2B CPMs. It's also widely adopted. About 54% of B2B companies report using retargeting on LinkedIn. Google and YouTube provide the scale layer that keeps you visible beyond professional feeds, while Meta can deliver low-cost reinforcement when used carefully. Across 2025 datasets, retargeting campaigns often average 0.9 to 1.2% CTR, around 7.5% conversion rates, and roughly 4.2x ROAS, which is why we rarely see retargeting underperform pure prospecting when the audience design is clean. The key is to treat each platform as part of one recovery system, not isolated experiments. Audience design and tech setup that prevents waste. Retargeting only works when your foundation is instrumented correctly. That means installing and validating the LinkedIn Insight tag, Google Ads/GA4 tags, and the Meta Pixel across key pages, pricing, product, demo, case studies, and form flows. It also means connecting your CRM or marketing automation so you can build audiences from both anonymous visits and known contacts, then exclude people who are already customers or disqualified. From there, build a small set of high-intent audiences that reflect real buyer behavior instead of everyone who visited the blog. The most reliable starting point is 3 to 5 segments: pricing/demo page visitors, form starters who didn't submit, product/feature page visitors, and engaged content consumers such as webinar attendees or case study readers. Those segments let you write ads that match the action the buyer already took, which is the fastest way to improve conversion without increasing spend. Finally, set guardrails so you don't burn out small audiences. We typically start with conservative frequency caps, about 3 to 5 impressions per user per week, and 30 to 45-day membership windows for most segments, then adjust based on sales cycle length and performance. The point is to stay present and helpful, not to chase prospects indefinitely. Retargeting doesn't replace SDR outreach. It makes the next call feel like a follow-up instead of an interruption. Creative and offers by funnel stage. What to say and when. The fastest way to waste retargeting budget is showing the same book a demo ad to everyone for months. A casual blog reader, a job seeker, and a pricing page visitor are not in the same mindset, so they shouldn't see the same message. Save direct demo CTAs for high-intent actions and use lighter next steps, benchmarks, comparison guides, short tours, ROI calculators for earlier stage behavior. Retargeting creative should also mirror your sales development agency motion. If your SDRs are running a cadence around a specific pain point, your ads should reinforce that exact storyline with proof, customer logos, outcomes, snippets of a case study, and a clear next step that matches the audience's stage. When a prospect clicks an ad and then gets a well-timed SDR email, you get compounding effect rather than channel conflict. Ad fatigue is real, especially on small B2B audiences. Rotate creative every 4 to 6 weeks, keep landing pages aligned to the promise, and resist the temptation to over-target with narrow messaging that only makes sense internally. The goal is clarity, relevance, and repetition, not cleverness. Common retargeting mistakes and how to fix them. One of the most common breakdowns we see is running retargeting in a silo, disconnected from SDR execution. When sales has no idea who is being retargeted or what those people are seeing, reps miss the chance to tailor outreach and prioritize the warmest accounts. The fix is operational. Share audiences and creative with the team and push key engagement signals, ad clicks, video views, return visits, into your CRM so reps can act within 24 to 48 hours. Another expensive mistake is letting retargeting run indefinitely without exclusions. If you don't suppress closed-won accounts, disqualified leads, opted-out contacts, or deals that are clearly not a fit, you keep paying to annoy people who will never buy. Tight CRM syncing, plus time-based rules that remove users after inactivity, keep spend focused on recoverable pipeline. Finally, many teams over-index on one platform, usually LinkedIn, and measure success only on last-click demo forms. LinkedIn is powerful, but it's not the only touchpoint that matters, and retargeting often works as an assist that shows up later via direct, search, or a reply to a cold email agency sequence. Use LinkedIn for high-value targeting, mirror audiences to Google/YouTube and Meta for cheaper reinforcement, And evaluate retargeting by cohort lift in meetings and opportunities, not just last-click attribution. Benchmarks, budgets, and measurement that sales will believe. Retargeting should be managed like a performance channel, with clear benchmarks and a simple budget model. Many B2B teams allocate 10 to 25% of paid budget to retargeting, depending on traffic volume and deal size, because it typically outperforms net new prospecting on cost per opportunity once audiences are segmented correctly. If you're running pay-per-meeting lead generation or any pipeline-focused motion, that efficiency matters more than vanity metrics. Use platform metrics to diagnose execution and pipeline metrics to decide whether to scale. CTR and CVR tell you whether the message matches the audience. CPA and ROAS tell you whether it's economically sound. Meetings and opportunities tell you whether it's actually helping your outbound sales agency efforts. The most reliable internal comparison is retargeted cohorts versus non-retargeted cohorts over the same time period. Below is a practical baseline we use to sanity check early results before making bigger creative or budget changes. Next steps: turn retargeting into an SDR-driven system. Retargeting becomes truly powerful when it's coordinated with human follow-up. For high-intent actions like pricing views and form starts, run a tight play. Ads for 7 to 14 days, while SDRs follow up within 24 to 48 hours using the same value proposition and proof points. That alignment is where a cold calling agency or B2B sales agency can turn interest into scheduled time on the calendar. Privacy and cookie changes are real, but B2B teams are not powerless. The most durable approach is leaning into first-party data. Your tags, your CRM lists, your consent-based email audiences, and platform-native engagement retargeting. When your audiences are built from real interactions and synced to sales reality, you're less dependent on third-party tracking and more resilient over time. If you want to move fast without building everything in-house, treat this as an execution problem, not a theory project. At SalesHive, our B2B sales outsourcing model connects list-building services, outbound cadences, and paid retargeting so teams can recover leads and create pipeline in one coordinated motion. Whether you're trying to hire SDRs internally or augment capacity with an outsourced sales team. The practical next step is to pick your 3 to 5 audiences, launch on LinkedIn and Google first, and measure lift in meetings and opportunities before expanding.